Welcome to New Business in Later Life, where we prove that it's never too late to pursue your entrepreneurial dreams. You will meet remarkable individuals who launch successful businesses over 50, sharing their stories, challenges, and enthusiasm. Your host, lldiko, is a former social housing professional, textile designer, and teacher who described herself as a life artist. She is now a property professional, business network host, and facilitator of the Entrepreneurs Club. Subscribe now to hear these inspiring stories every week.
Oh, that's beautiful. So back at 25, how did you notice that this teaching was having an effect on you? What sort of things were starting to happen for you?
Right, so here's a good example. So when I was a single parent, on a really tight budget, I'd get to a point where I'd think, oh, crikey, bills are coming in. I haven't got enough money to pay these bills. What am I going to do? And then I would literally say to myself, the universe has got my back. Something will come in, something will happen, and everything is going to be okay. And literally every single time that it did, something happened. I can't think of any examples now, but things always happened. So it works for me. And then I started to realise that actually, although I was doing that to start with subconsciously, once I started to realise what I was doing, I started to actually do it on purpose. Right. And I literally just decided, right, this is what I want to achieve. You really have to believe that you're going to achieve it and put everything into it and feel it in your bones, really. And the universe will just send it to you. So I'm a huge believer in manifestation, as you know.
Yes.
I've always lived my whole life since the mid-20s using manifestation. I've always kept it very private at home. My husband knows, my children know, they've all grown up with it. But until last year, I didn't speak openly about it because...
Was there a particular reason for that?
Yeah, I felt that it was a bit woo-woo. People would think I was a little bit crackers. And actually, do you know what? It's worked for me and it works for so many other people. And if you speak to anyone super successful, they all use the same technique. So, I'm like, right, let's just normalise it. Let's just talk about it. Let's just get it out there instead of keeping it behind closed doors.
And at the end of the day, if you find your audience, those people who believe in woo-woo, call it whatever you want, if it's woo-woo or not, they will follow you.
Exactly.
Or they will accept the advice. So they probably have already done some of it themselves.
Yes, definitely.
And people who don't associate with it, they will just turn their back and walk away.
Absolutely.
As they probably would have come across it in their life before.
Definitely.
And have turned their back on it already anyway.
I had a friend ask me one day over dinner, how do you persuade people to think your way? And I'm like, well, I'm not here to persuade people. If people are interested in it, then listen to me. If you're not interested, that's absolutely fine. We're all different, aren't we? I'm not trying to sell this to people that aren't on that wavelength and don't believe in that sort of thing. So, it's of interest to some people, not everybody.
That's really quite interesting to hear that you came across this book at the age of 25. Did somebody recommend it to you, or how did you find the book?
So it's quite interesting. So in my first marriage, we joined something called Amway. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, multi-level marketing.
My goodness, it was huge in Hungary.
It was huge.
Absolutely giant.
And so my
in
first
Hungary,
husband and I joined Amway. And so that's when I got access to all the motivational books. The meetings I loved, and we worked our way up quite high, to be honest, and we did really well, and I loved that side of it. And so when the marriage broke down, I think he carried on doing it for a while, but because I left the marriage, I left that as well. But the motivational side I continued with throughout my life, and I continued to buy the books and things. And many years later, when I met my now husband on our first date, the very first conversation we had was regarding motivational books. And it transpired we'd both read all the same books. They'd had huge impacts on our lives. It was an instant connection. So that's really interesting.
Emotionally and intellectually, you were very much on the same level.
Absolutely.
And no wonder you lasted so many decades and you're still just as happy as if you met yesterday.
Absolutely, 24 years in now.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Interesting to learn that you came across these books through business.
Yeah, multi-level marketing, basically, yes.
Because I came across the same books and have read, I listen to audiobooks rather than read them, from Napoleon Hill and Bob Proctor and many others. through business. So 2.5 years ago, I signed up to property training.
Yeah.
And of course, mindset, baseline, what they teach is that you get your mindset right, and then you build, that's your foundation of your temple of wealth.